So for number 9, we want to use a truth table to determine whether the statements are tautologies, contradictions, or neither. Now we just have to remember that a tautology is when a statement's truth table is entirely true, regardless of the truth value of the smaller statements. And same thing for, actually the opposite for contradiction. The truth table will be entirely false, regardless of the truth value of the propositions that we input into it. So let's just build this truth table. So true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. And let's negate P and Q because we're going to use these as well. So whenever we have true, we'll make it false, and vice versa. Oops, I did this wrong. So that should be false, false, true, true, and then false, true, because we're just negating Q. So before we can evaluate statement A, we have to build up these auxiliary statements, which will help us kind of put it together into a bigger one without making mistakes. So we'll evaluate P and Q. So the first and the conjunction of the first and second column. So we have true and true, which is true, true, false, which is false, false and true, false, 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 false. And now we're going to evaluate the conjunction of the third column and the fourth column. So not P and not Q. So false, false is false, false, true is false, true, false, false, true, true is true. So now all we have to do is we have to take the disjunction of these two columns that we built. So we're going to take a disjunction of the fifth column and the sixth column. So it'll be the fifth or the sixth. So we have true or false, which is true, false or false, which is false, false or false, which is false, and false or true, which is true. So we can see that this is neither a tautology nor a contradiction because we have both true and false values here. So we're going to say that A is neither. And now let's do item C. And to do item C, we are going to have to use this auxiliary smaller statement. So let's build that one up. We are going to do, let's see, not P or not Q. So a disjunction of the third and fourth column. So over here we have, let's see, not P. So, or not Q, that is false, then true, then true, then true. So now using this auxiliary column, we are ready to build up item C. So for item C, we're going to take a disjunction of the fifth column with the fifth column here with the column that we just built. And we can see why we're building these smaller chunks so that we can evaluate it without making mistakes. So let's see, we're taking the, the disjunction, right? So true or false is true. Then we have false or true is true, false or true is true, and false or true is true. So because our truth table is all true, this is a tautology. So we're going to say that this is a tautology. Okay, let's evaluate item B. So for item B, we have just a single proposition here, true, P, so true, false. Now we're going to negate it, so false, true. Now we're going to do the conjunction of the conjunction of P and not P. So true and false is false, and false and true is false. And now lastly, for item B, we're going to negate this column that we created. So we're going to negate this statement over here. So not F is true, and then not F is also true. So once more, we do have a tautology where every item in this truth table is true. So let's write this in. This is a tautology. Okay, so let's go over to the next one, to item D. Now, this will be a bit annoying to build up. We did have to construct smaller propositions so that we could put everything together without making mistakes. So this is, let's see, true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. Now we want to negate both A and B because we're going to use them. So we'll just put the opposite truth values of A and the opposite truth values of B. Now we're going to do A and B, so the conjunction of the first and the second column. So this is true and then false, false, false. So now we want the conjunction of the first A and not B, the first and the fourth column. So this conjunction is given by, let's see, true and false is false, true and true, true, false and false, false, false and true, false. Now next, we want the conjunction of not A and B, so the third and the second column. So let's see, true and false is false, 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 true, 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 and then false, true is false. And lastly, we want the conjunction of not A, the third, and not B, the fourth column. So we'll do that conjunction. So this is false, false, true, false, false, and then true. So lastly, to build up D, it wants the conjunction of all these columns that we've built. So it wants the conjunction of the disjunction, the or, of the fourth, the fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth column. That was a mouthful. So let's see. We're going to do or, right? So we have here true or false or false or false. So this is true. And then we have false or true or false or false, true. And then we have false or false or true or false, so true. And then we have false or false or false or true. So once more, we are seeing a tautology because every single value here in this truth table is true. So let us write this in. This is also a tautology. And now let's do item E and then F. So we have 3 propositions, which means 8 combinations. Quite cumbersome, but here we go. Let us just put this stuff in. And I always encourage you to just stop and ponder why it is that when we have 3 propositions, we use 8 lines, 8 rows. And if you're intrigued by it, please leave a comment and I'll try to get back to it. Okay, so like we did before, we're going to construct these smaller columns so that we can build our compound propositions, our compound statements, that is. So not P, we're just going to negate P. So just put the opposite truth values of P. And then we are going to negate Q. So false, false, true, true, false, false, true, true. Okay, so now we're going to construct the conjunction of Q, so the second column, and not P. So this fourth column. So this conjunction is, let's see, true, false. So false, true, false, 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 false. Let's see, true, true, and then false and false. Okay, now we are going to construct the conjunction of P, so the first column, and the third. So let's do this. The first is true, and the third. So false, true, false, and then that is false, 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 and false. And lastly, we're going to negate this column that we just built. So we're just going to put the opposite truth values for it. Now, to build E, what we're doing is we're doing a conjunction of, let's see, we're doing a conjunction of this column that we just negated and this other, we're doing, let's go back to what we're doing, and a conjunction of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth column and the eighth column. So we're doing the sixth and eighth. So let's see, false, false is false, 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 false and true is false, and then we have true, true, false, false. So for this one, we can see that we have both false and true in our truth tables. So this is neither. Let's just see if everything is right. Let's see. We're supposed to have true. Yes, that is right. Everything's okay. So we're going to put that this is neither. And I'm hoping to see a contradiction here in the last one, just for fun. So let's see. We're building this not Q and P. So we're building the fifth column conjunction with the first, not Q and P. So let us put that in. This is false, false, true, true. Then everything else is false. Then we are doing a disjunction. We are doing a disjunction of the third column and the second. So Q or R. So let's see. This is true, true, Q or R, true, false, and then we have true, 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 false. Yep. True, true, false. And then lastly, we're doing, the second to last step is we're doing a conjunction of these two columns that we just built. So we're going to do these one and the other. So we have here, let's see, false and true, false. Whenever we have a false, we're just going to put false. So this is true. This is true. And then let's see. No, sorry, that is because we're doing a conjunction, right? So false, false, true. And then this is false, 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 false. So now what we're doing is we are doing a disjunction between the first column, so P. We're having P or this second to last column that we're built. So let's do the disjunction, which is just or. So whenever we have a positive, which is the first, sorry, not positive, true, for the first four rows, we're just going to put true here because it is a disjunction. And let's see if there's any more true here. No, we do not have. So half true and half false. So we did not get the contradiction that we wanted. This is neither because we have both true and false values. So we're just going to go back and say that this is neither. So now I'm just going to zoom out for you guys to kind of get the big picture if you need to take a screenshot or something. And that's it. We showed that some of these are tautologies and some of these are neither because they have mixed true and false values in their truth tables.